The more expectations you have, the more you're going to suffer. Why is that? Because you're wanting something that isn't here in the present. You're coming from a place of lack. What is here in front of you isn't enough. So you're always expecting, wanting something more, something else. So the here is never enough. And you might think, yeah, that's easy for you to say. Well, it's not because I have my own YouTube channel that you're watching right now, that there aren't things going on in my life as well, because everything what I'm sharing here is based on my own experience. So the topic of the day as well, I'm going to share my personal input because we're all doing this together. I'm growing and you're growing and we're learning together. I'm just sharing what I know and see on my journey. So the last few weeks have been an interesting development with another person. And as long as I don't have expectations, everything is going well. And I saw last week, all of a sudden I was having expectations. And when it happened, the other person was all of a sudden distance, having more distance with me. And why did that now happen? That initial change from me from no expectation and just being present, enjoying what is, to having expectations. That is always because an inner part that wasn't seen before showed up. In my case, my inner child all of a sudden didn't feel heard or seen anymore. It felt like I was abandoning it, or it was being abandoned. First one is I'm taking responsibility. The other one is like other people are abandoning me. It's like when a child of 5 years old is throwing a tantrum in the supermarket because he can't have a cookie. It's never about the cookie. A child is throwing a tantrum because there's a need that isn't fulfilled in that moment. So for me, last week, my need of feeling seen all of a sudden wasn't validated anymore. And then I projected it on the other person. Hey, you need to see me. You need to hear me because I feel abandoned in this moment. So I was putting expectations on the other person. Now, in some relationships, this might work, or connections, that the other person actually gives you that need. But in other connections, that doesn't work. And I would say that's more healthy because then you can give it to yourself. So I'm very grateful that this happened because I saw now, okay, there's still a part of me that feels abandoned at times. That doesn't feel seen. So the solution to that is to have my own part feel seen by me. So that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. Working on that part of me, asking what it needs, telling it, validating myself, validating that inner child of me. So I can go back to being present, being in the moment and enjoying what is, instead of longing for something that isn't there at the moment. Expectations, and definitely in connection with human people, human people with people or human beings, are a poison. Because an expectation, most of the time, is a one-way street. You're expecting something from another person that the other person never agreed to. So what are you going to feel? They're going to feel pressure. They're going to feel like you want something from them. They're going to feel like when you give to them, they need to give something back because you have an expectation. But when you validate yourself and whatever need you have, you can be present because whatever is here is enough. But you need to choose that. You need to choose the present moment every single time. And that only comes through a repetition. That comes by being conscious of what you're doing. It doesn't come like, okay, now today I'm going to be present. Oh, why? Where? It's not here. Oh my God, no, what I want isn't here. Or the other person is running now. Especially in the context when you have more the pattern of an anxious attachment style and the other person is avoidant attachment style. As soon as they feel, as the avoidant person going to feel like some kind of expectation, that's like fuel to the rocket to get out. Because expectations is their poison as well. And when you are fearful or anxious, you try and grab the other person. Oh my God, this is so uncomfortable. All these parts are coming out. Please save me. But the other person can't save you. You can only save yourself. So when you let go of expectations, you become present. And your connection with the other person, however it looks like, is always enough. And from that place, it can actually grow into what you actually want without you wanting it. Because when you want it, when you expect it, when you expect something, you're coming from a place of it's not here. So your external world is going to validate that. Okay, you feel like it's not here, it's still going to be not here. And they're always going to be like this moving space, but it's always going to stay the same space. So you're feeling like you're moving, but the space is going to remain the same size. So the solution is not to take it outside. The solution is not to go to the other person like, hey, come here and validate me. The solution is take your mirror and validate yourself. Speak to yourself. Ask yourself what you need. All the tools that you have. You journal. You talk to yourself. You go in deep meditation. You use a mirror. You breathe. You breathe with yourself. You breathe with that part. You hug that part of you. You visualize it in front of you. Let it speak. Or role play. You embody that person. You embody a 5-year-old child and let it speak what it needs. And then you swap the roles where you are the adult and you talk to them and you actually give them what they need. Now, in a manifestation context, when I'm talking about expectations, it's also about you already have what you want. So if you want to manifest another career, another business, a house, better health, you expect it, but not from I'm expecting it now, but you already have it. So there's actually no more expectations either, because you already have what you want. And from that space, you actually calm down, and what is in front of you, you accept, because you understand that it's a roadmap, it's your path to what you want. But when you see whatever is in front of you, like, no, this is not what I want that, come from lack, and you're never going to get the other thing. So here as well, you expect it to come, but because you expect, you accept what is in front of you, because whatever you want out there, you already have. So you can relax, you can accept the present moment. You can actually start enjoying your life instead of always frantically looking for something else. Whether it's in love, whether it's in career, whether it's in hobbies, family, whatever. When you accept what's in front of you, me as well, then is when everything's going to come. But the more you resist your present situation, the more you resist the change to come in. You accept what is by being present. Every single time you can become present and become here, you validate what is here now. And you show to the universe, I love my life now. Give me more of what I love now. And then your reality changes. You come back with the dynamic with another person. When you validate the connection now, you show to the other person, I love our connection now. Give me more of what I love now. Not from a place of expecting something, because right now what is already enough. But you can't change the other person into giving you what you need. You can only do that to yourself. So take some space apart, even if it feels super uncomfortable, even if you're super afraid that they're going to run away. You need to validate yourself. Calm down. Your brain is going into the loop. A million scenarios about the future, about anxiety, about never seeing them again. That's just your mind. That's past patterns that are reappearing. Calm down. Take a breath. Do some breath work, guided breath work that takes so another person can get you out of your loop. Breathe by Sandy on YouTube as a brilliant breathwork channel, where you cut the loop of your frantic thinking and you can actually slow down and look at those parts of you that need validation, that are expecting something because the present isn't enough. And when you practice being present and you meditate and you focus on observing, accepting whatever is in front of you, an expectation can just fly away. And every time you feel expectations come in, like, oh, there they are again, you observe. What is actually beneath this? What fear is behind this expectation? When you address the fear, the expectation just goes away because you accept. You accept what is here right now. Not settling. Because you accept your life is fantastic right now. You have everything you want already. Even if there's no proof in the external world, but you have internally everything already what you want. Expectations fly out, pressure flies out, and you actually enjoy. And then everything comes to you. Every time you put expectations up, it's like another barrier, and a fear, and it accumulates. And it stops that accumulation when you become conscious, when you become present. And there's always a moment when you become present. As well in meditation, when your thoughts are like taking you, pulling you up behind the stars. There will always be a moment when I become present, like, oh, being pulled again, pulling myself back into this moment, being present. So it is a practice. And the more you practice, the more it's going to get easier. And sometimes you're going to get dragged along with expectation again, and that's okay. You be gentle to yourself. You pull yourself back. What am I expecting from someone else that I can just give to myself? Which is actually way easier. You try and change someone else. It's a hell of a lot of work, and it's never going to work. Try changing yourself. You are 100% in control. And yes, it takes effort. It takes effort to change your life. It takes a conscious choice every single moment to change your life. But that's worth it for me. And I hope it's too, because you are the only one that is there 24/7 with you. 24/7, 365 days, and maybe 100 years if that's how old you want to be. So why not give it all you've got to love yourself, to accept the present moment and see the joy in it. Because even if you're in a rough patch right now and it feels so dark and heavy, there's always joy and there's always light. Every single situation can be perceived differently. And when you accept what is, that poison that you're giving to yourself, expectations, just evaporates. And it changes into sweet nectar, like sweet honey, that you can just feed on abundantly. So I hope this episode helped you. Maybe there's someone that you think about, like, hey, this person can also benefit from this episode. Because that's what we do at the Conscious Manual. We help each other. And I help you to love yourself so you can love your life and create the reality that you want. Thank you for tuning in. Have a brilliant day. And as always, remember that you are epic. Ciao, ciao.